What up, it's your boy ATM back, and we got the biggest simp in history. None of us want to be like this, so, let's get a little insight, see what we can, avoid out of this. But we ain't no simps. Pure players around this bitch. But let's get straight into it.
The Tom and Jerry video that I made back in March of this year has touched a lot more hearts than I was expecting it would, with half of the video discussing the topic of suicide, while with the other half mentioning that true love and validation is found from within and not from the approval of other people. I think that's a very profound way of putting it, but over 2,000 comments calling Tom the Cat a simp sums up the message too, I guess. For those of you who have no idea what simping means, it's basically another word for beta. The best way I can describe it is
Simping is you doing too much for a female that don't care about you. A female that, I ain't gonna lie, she a treat. She belong to the fishes. Do too much for you and get little out in return. You feel me? So it's like, and you keep trying, you gotta realize that's not the only female in the world at the end of the day, because it's like, you feel me? You doing all this for what? For one? For one girl? Probably getting banged out in the gulag? That ain't worth it.
someone who is overly desperate for a relationship with a particular person and will do everything in their power to please that person, but forgetting the importance of respecting themselves first. One of the greatest examples of this is by watching the actions of Mordecai from Regular Show. You know, the Mordecai who everyone seems to remember as a simp now, which is pretty sad considering I can remember a couple of savage moments from this character off the top of my head. So in this episode in particular, Mordecai has a crush on this girl named Margaret, but
I ain't gonna lie, Margaret used to do this nigga grimy on my mama, and he still like to. No, nobody, I don't care. Y'all both birds. Y'all, she ain't trying to get with the flock. You better find another chirp with. You feel me? That makes sense. It don't matter. Shit, she used to do my nigga dirty, and he still wanted to mess with her. Ain't that bad a bit? Crazy ass.
he doesn't know how to expresso himself and asks her out on a date. He's extremely nervous, extremely shy, and has no confidence in himself. And his friend Rigby takes full advantage of this by cracking jokes at the situation, winning over the heart of Margaret in the process. Obviously, this causes Mordecai to go into full-out
I ain't gonna lie. If you got a homie like that really, trying to make the girl that you like giggle, ha, laugh, try to get her attention, you gotta punch that nigga real tight. You gotta tighten that nigga up. Ask that nigga who team he really playing for. You feel me? Because we don't do that around here. We don't do that around here. We don't show up for our niggas, girls. That's just not the move.
jealous mode, and with every scene that goes by with him not having the guts to blurt out the words he wants to, and Rigby just being himself but clearly not taking the situation seriously, this frustrates Mordecai to insane levels. To prove his point, Rigby shows Mordecai just how easy it is to ask someone out on a date, and Margaret accepts Rigby's offer, shattering Mordecai's heart out in the process. His jealousy meter goes off the chart, and later on in the episode, he does everything possible to sabotage Rigby's date with Margaret. He also kills Rigby. No, really. Rigby literally dies in this episode. RIP. Soon after, Mordecai meets God face to face.
No, that's low-key funny. That's low-key funny. We gonna go back a little bit, because he was talking about how Rigby was, they was talking about how Rigby, was being himself the whole time, getting the girl attention, just being himself, not thinking too hard about it, saying his cake. That's look how you niggas gotta start looking at these females nowadays. Just be yourself, bro. Niggas be trying to show out, do the most, be the loudest in the crowd. Nah, be yourself, man. If you a goofy dipshit ass nigga, be a goofy dipshit ass nigga. But I'm saying ultimately, like, man, you niggas gotta learn how to be themselves, and that's really how you get the female that you want.
Punishment for his sins, he is forced to spend eternity in Nowhere Land. Even though he has nothing to lose at this point, Mordecai still refuses to admit his jealousy for Rigby's alpha game. So God shows him the truth and informs him that it's not healthy to bottle up your emotions. Or in other words, honesty is the best policy. God gives Mordecai one more chance to repent for his sins, so he finally admits his jealousy and is rewarded with a trip back in time to be better. By the end of the episode, he fails to ask Margaret out, yes, but he learns that it's really not that serious. So here's my take on the whole alpha versus simp. Blue.
He's a bitch. Honestly, if I would have got back in time, I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. I would have, you know what I'm saying? I would have, hey, fuck it is what it is. Like, you trying to do something like that? Simple. What was the point of doing all that extra shit now? You did all that extra shit just to not have the bitch at the end? Like, what? What are you talking about? Let's see the conclusion right here. Let me not get mad.
Pill versus red pill thing, all right? There are a lot of relationship advice on this website. To their credit, it's probably all good advice at the end of the day, but I just want you to realize this point if you haven't already. If you are a guy, chances are you've watched videos about how to treat a woman, what to say on a date, what women like, what to say to get a girl's number, etc. And if you are a girl watching this video, the same principle applies. That's cool, you know? My question is, who the hell cares? Honestly, I don't believe in alphas. I don't believe in simps. I just believe in true self-love and self-respect.
And that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Now that he said it, nobody cares. We all gonna die. Do what you want when you want to. As long as it's not no absurd shit that'll get you life in prison, so you don't even get to live your life, because that's fucking dumb. Ultimately, nobody cares about your every move. People be thinking so hard about what they finna do next, what they gonna say, what they gonna do. It's gonna affect other people at the end of the day. As long as you moving in a way that, you know what I'm saying, that you happy at the end of the day, that's really all that matters, bro. I promise you. It's just like, people be thinking too hard, and like that's where anxiety comes in. You start thinking too much about different outcomes, and it's like, bro, breathe for a second and realize nobody give a fuck. I'm gonna see you on the next one.
You need to roll up.